turn that edge a little bit more. I'm going to try and hit it right in there. See if I can pull one off in there. There we go. Alright, I think we're about ready to switch over to the antler here. Give it a try up here in the end. Alright, so when I'm using the antler, I like to use the small little pad here to hold it. That's something I've been doing lately. Sure, not necessary, but it allows you to really hit it hard, which you have to do if you're using these small antlers, because a little biface like this is kind of small to be using a big moose billet on. So I'll be using a smaller deer antler billet like this here, and I have to hit it really hard to get the flakes to release. So it allows you to hit it hard and not get that finger snap that you sometimes get when you're using these little billets like that. Gotta get that edge right. Get kind of a ridge right there. We can try and get that. So the platforms are totally different here when I'm using the antler. The antler, I need a fairly sharp edge and a much sharper angle, maybe 45 degrees or something like that. You can get by with a thinner edge and not near as much abrading as needed. So I'll just start over here and just start working it back a little bit here. Alright, back grind that, and that's where we're going to hit it right there and try and drive one right off in here. It takes a pretty good hit with a billet here to drive that flake off like that. Okay, so I'm tilting the biface up like this instead of down, much higher than I ordinarily would. And I'm really hitting it hard, and it went over to there. And I think we can just adjust that platform a little bit there and get another one off, because it really wasn't as big of a flake as I had anticipated. It's not a real good platform, but I want it to go over to here. Okay, so that went pretty nicely. You can see it takes a real kind of a whip-like snappy blow to get those flakes to release like that. That flake is considerably thinner than if I was using a Hammerstone. Okay, so let's see here. Got one right there I can get with the antler. I'm just kind of going around as the opportunity presents itself and taking whatever I can find here. Just going to take a small little one there. It may not go, but okay, so that cleaned that up a little bit. What I like about this is you can see it's worn to kind of a sharp tip on there, almost like a little nipple or something. And when you're working with harder stones, or if you're trying to get in there and remove small little narrow flakes, almost like pressure flakes, you can use that sharp tip and instead of having to get out the pressure flaker, so you can make these little adjustments to your platforms. I'm going to put this camera back a little bit further. It's too close, so I'm going to shut it off. Okay, I got the camera back a little further. It's easier for me to stay within the field of view there. Just removing a small little flake right here. Okay. I'm going to bring the edge up over here and take a few flakes off over here. Yeah, that's a sound I like. If you can hear that sound, that means you're getting clean flakes off the edge here. You're not creating step fractures. It's important to do this little abrading when you're turning this edge. It's not a good idea to avoid that, because if you do, you're going to get these little step fractures in there. And as you can see here, we got a fairly clean edge. I didn't over abrade it, but it's fairly clean. It's not full of a lot of step fractures. I mean, there's some in there, but so take one off over here. Okay, now we're going to come over here. Try and do some serious thinning now with the antler billet. So these should be nice full-length flakes. Maybe the first one won't, but after a couple we'll get some nice parallel. Okay, so there's one. Now we'll space it out. I like to use the Hammerstone here lately, using that little nub in there again. Okay, abrade it, but not a lot. We spaced it out a little bit. Put the leather under there. I'm squeezing it. It's important to, again, tilt it up high. You don't want it down there, or the flake's not going to travel very far. If I tilt it up, the flake will travel pretty far, maybe all the way across. This one, I don't know. But in any case, you want to hold it fairly tight too. If you got a wimpy grip on there, if your grip is too loose, when I actually hit this, it's going to change that angle before the flake releases. And that'll all happen sort of instantaneously, and you won't see it. But it's important to keep that up high so that that angle is maintained, and that you get the full force of the billet to go in there and actually get that crack started. If it's a weak grip, sometimes the flake won't even get started in the first place. So, okay, that was kind of a weak flake there. I didn't have the edge turned back as far as I really should have. I'll probably start from the tip this time and work back. Yeah, hear that change? You can hear that change when you do that little abrading there. That means cleaner flakes. Okay, we'll start working back here, and then we'll have a better ridge, and we should have a little bit more. I don't really need the cloth for that one. That went all the way. We'll space it out a little bit again. Okay, we got a little platform right there. Went pretty good. Kind of boogered that up. Let's see though. I think I better hold it here. You can see how it took a lot of force, and I can feel that in my finger. So we got our flake to release though. And that's because I had a little bit of platform damage on there. We'll go over that in a minute here and show you what a good platform looks like again. It's important that these areas off to the side here are fairly sharp so the flake can release. Alright, that was a good one, I think. So we cleaned up a lot of area on there with that flake. And we'll see if we can put that back on here and analyze it. And the support is what allowed that to go that far. If I was holding that loose, the biface would have tilted and that flake would have terminated probably halfway instead of all the way across. Okay, I got to turn the edge, and we still got a huge hump over here that we got to deal with. This face is fairly flat, and so we need to deal with that. So I'm going to turn the edge with the hammerstone here. I'm going to unfortunately lose quite a bit of width here because it's humped up a little higher than I would like it to be. Okay, I want to drive one right over in there. Got to support it pretty tight, and I got to hit it really hard. Not hard, but fast. Okay, so that went pretty good. Now, I'll get my ridge going over here by removing a small flake over here. Okay, that's our platform for this one, and it's kind of a wide platform. Gonna have to really hit it hard and support it really hard. Alright, well, I thought that went further. Bummer. Okay, I need to raise that edge up even more. The flakes aren't traveling as far as I'd like them to go. Got to have a good quality edge. I think we'll start over here this time. Alright, so we'll drive one over here, and I got to get it to go deep. Alright. It's okay, we're just losing so much width. I'm a little disappointed with that. I think we're okay still. There's another one. I have to really bring this up. Kind of a boogered up edge right there. Okay, we'll take one off over here, and then I got to change this DVD out. Okay, we got one going there. I'm going to go ahead and change the tape out, and then we'll see if we can get this. If we can do that, then we should be in